In this video, I'm going to be comparing the SpongeBob movies to the Hotel Transylvania movies because in part one of the series, I compared SpongeBob to Surf's Up, SpongeBob 1. I compared Hotel Transylvania to Open Season, Hotel Transylvania 1. When you look at highest score for each franchise, in the case of Hotel Transylvania, you got 4 movies that have come out and only one of them is even fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, that being the third film, and even then it's just barely fresh with a 62%. Whereas when it comes to SpongeBob, out of the 4 movies that have been released, 3 of them are fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. The movie Sponge Out of the Water has the highest score of 80%. When you look at lowest score, the first Hotel Transylvania movie only has a 45%. The Sandy Cheek SpongeBob movie that's on Netflix only has a 56%. Then when we look at average score with Hotel Transylvania, average of 52. With SpongeBob, you have an average of 67. SpongeBob has won every round so far. Then when we look at gap between lowest and highest score, in the case of Hotel Transylvania, gap of 17%. In the case of SpongeBob, gap of 24%. So Hotel Transylvania wins here, but SpongeBob already won 3 of the rounds, so it's going to win no matter what. When we look at my personal opinion, honestly, I enjoy both of these sets of movies. I watched them for the first time not too long ago, just within the past year, actually. I think that the SpongeBob movies do a good job of capturing the right tone, they have the right vibe to them. They're a good example of how to actually convert a TV show into a movie. It helps that SpongeBob is a long running episode of the week kind of show where there's all these different adventures that happen within it. So it's different than other TV shows, that are telling one story. And then when we look at Hotel Transylvania, I think the concept here is very interesting. The idea that you have this hotel called Hotel Transylvania that's meant to be a refuge for any monsters, a place where they can be safe and not have to worry about being persecuted or hunted down by humans. You got this guy, Count Dracula, who has a daughter, Mavis. In the first movie, Count Dracula, as a result of a tragic thing happening to him in the past, wants to keep Mavis close to him. He wants to keep her safe. There's this boy, Jonathan, who inadvertently pops up at the hotel. Count Dracula is not happy about that. He's trying to keep it a secret that Jonathan's actually a human, but then Jonathan and Mavis end up getting together by the end of the movie. The second movie is about how after Jonathan and Mavis get married, they have a kid, and now there's conflict over whether the kid should be more like a human or more like a vampire. Count Dracula wants the kid to be more like a vampire, but the baby's parents want him to be more like a human. And then the third film, it's about the family going on this cruise. Count Dracula ends up finding a new woman that he actually likes, which is a big deal for him because we learn in the first film his wife died, which is what led to him being very distrustful of humans because humans killed his wife. That's understandable. But in the third film, he actually now has the opportunity to move on and find someone new. And then the fourth film, Transformania, is about how Count Dracula's thinking now's the time to hand over the hotel to someone else. So he's thinking about handing the hotel over to his daughter, Jonathan. But we see there's insecurity there. He's not sure whether he actually wants to give Jonathan the key to the hotel, and so that leads to conflict, or Jonathan ends up turning into this big creature. But by the end of the movie, Count Dracula has fully accepted him into the family. He's fully gotten over the insecurity that was there before. When it comes to which series of movies are better, that's an interesting question for me because on the one hand, Hotel Transylvania isn't like based on a book or a TV show. With SpongeBob, it started off as a TV show. Now, I have not actually watched seasons of SpongeBob in order. I haven't actually watched all the episodes of a season from beginning to end. No, I actually have known about SpongeBob for years. It's a show that I've seen bits of throughout the years. I've seen an episode here and there, or at least part of an episode. So before watching these movies, I knew about SpongeBob. I remembered the theme song, a lot of the character names. I remembered the general idea of what the show is about. That SpongeBob is this sponge who works at a place called Krabby Patty's. Well, he works at actually this restaurant owned by a guy named Mr. Krabs, and he makes these Krabby Patties. I remember the general look of the show, but still, I haven't actually watched a bunch of episodes of the SpongeBob TV show. But in this case, I think I'm gonna have to go with SpongeBob, actually, just because there's more nostalgia for me, because it's something that I've known about for a long time without being super familiar with it. Hotel Transylvania series of movies I very much enjoy. I like they do something different with these characters that have been in other movies, but it's not the same thing. I'd watched them for the first time not too long ago. They're not based on anything else. SpongeBob will be winning this debate. That'll be it for now.